Hello guys, welcome back to the channel again. So last weekend there was an event in the UK called Military Odyssey, which is a big display event, lots of shops, lots of groups, all sorts of vehicles, multi-period, really nice big of show. On the Saturday I went down to that to have a look around the displays and do a little bit of shopping, see what I could find. And I found 4 things that I thought I could add to the collection, and today I'm going to go through them with you. Okay, so let's make a start. Now the first thing I managed to get was this here, a nice 1942 dated Boyd haversack with a meat can pouch included to it. Now, I don't know quite what I'm going to do with this. I want a haversack to put in the Jeep because I haven't got one that's just in the Jeep all the time. The only haversack I've actually got that I use is on my bar weapon. So this one, I bought to go in the Jeep, but it's in really good condition, so I might add it to my rifleman cartridge belt because that needs a haversack fitted to it on it as well. But there you go. The thing I want to say about this though is a bit of a warning on when you're looking at stuff. Now the prices here in the UK and US military gear from Second World War has just got absolutely insane. I mean, there was one of these in Odyssey for £155, which is just an absolute joke. This one cost nowhere near that because I'm not quite so stupid. But in my haste to get it, when I realised that was a half decent price, I gave it all a good look over. Looked pretty good, nothing missing really. You got a lot of rust marks that you can probably see. If I bring you up to the camera here, you see it's got a lot of rust markings on the back from storage, and also a little bit on the front. I'm going to try and sort them out. But the warning I want to give you is when you're at events and you're getting all excited, you found something you want, really do give it a proper look over, because I didn't realise until I started going on the way home, if I can even find it, here we are. One of the rear straps has no fitting on it. So that's just a bit of a warning. Don't rush and buy things, even, you know, when you think you've had a look and they're quite good. Just double check stuff. Now, it's not going to be the end of the world for me. I've got loads of these laying around on old bits of repro equipment and stuff. I'll just pull one off and add it to the buckle. But not everyone's so lucky. So just, you know, when you're at an event, you're having fun, you think you found something you really want, just take a second, make sure you've really checked that over, because you don't want to get home and have something like this, but you might not be in a position like me where I can just put one on another piece of equipment. But apart from that, this is in really nice nick. I'm going to do some research, see if we can find a way of getting some of this rust marking off the back of it. But it's good. Other than that, all the straps are here. The markings are nice and clear still. If I open it up here for you, you can see it's fairly clean on the inside. You've just got a couple of marks on the bit, but nothing too bad. There's no tears or anything, no terrible verdigris. I just need a bit of a clean up, and then this will be in really good nick. Now, when I get this stuff home, I always then have a route around it properly, because sometimes you find hidden goodies inside. Like sometimes in the meat can pouch, you might find some utensils and stuff that haven't been noticed. I've done it before, and no luck on this one, I'm afraid. But still, this is a really nice haversack to add to the collection. Just not sure what I'm going to do with it yet. Okay then, so next up we have a nice 1942 dated OD3 musette bag, and when I say nice, I mean not really very nice. Pay attention to the bottom corner here, you can see we've got a pretty big hole. If I bring it up to the camera for you, you can see that's fairly badly damaged, quite a big tear inside there. So this is quite a rough musette bag. Now again, at Odyssey, a price of a lot of the musette bags was just a joke. I mean, I again saw one of these for over £150. But inside, you've got a nice visible marking. I don't think I've ever seen that company before. I think that's, would you say that's Fuce? F-U-C-E, I think it is, or F-U-E-E, Fu Manufacturing. But basically, I bought this one, even though it's in rough condition, because A, it was a lot cheaper than them stupid £155 ones, and B, this is just going in the Jeep. This will be replacing one of the musette bags that's in there that's in much better condition, so that musette bag can then go on a web gear set, probably my carbine's web gear set. So this has a purpose, and there's a reason I bought one in such rough shape, because it just doesn't matter for what it's going to be used for. The other musette bag in the Jeep is also in really rough shape, so then I'll have 2 of them in there, and it doesn't really matter that they're in there in all the weather, or possibly going to get some damage because they're already pretty wrecked. Now, despite this having that big hole in it, what that did come with inside it, I had this little envelope which is labelled on it World War II material patch, and I don't know if this is like an original World War II material patch, but we do have a little bit of patch here, and you see it pretty much matches the bag. So what I'm probably going to do is cut a bit of this off, put that underneath the hole there, just so that's not really letting all the water in and everything, and just so this hole doesn't get even worse. So again, something worth checking on the inside of things you buy, because you never know what you're going to find. And other than that hole, this is in really good physical shape. None of the buckles are torn. You've got a little hole on the back, but that doesn't matter at all. All of the everything's in place basically. You know, it's got quite a lot of marking on some of the buckle ends there, but you can just clean that up with a bit of a polish or something like that. And then this can go in the Jeep and that will perform a brilliant function. So I'm really happy with this one. Alright, so the third item on my list is another musette bag, this time in khaki. If I undo this one, see what we've got inside. We can see that this is also a 1942 dated one, if you can just about make it up on there. That is quite faded. Now this musette bag is in way better condition than the other one. This might also get attached to a piece of web gear. But here's another warning on about really checking things before you buy them at shows, because I didn't twig this until I got home. So basically I got home and I opened it up to start searching for any little extra treats that might be inside. And what I first found was this. And I was like, well, what the hell is this? So on closer inspection, if I can get the camera to focus, you'll see that that is one of the bottoms of the buckles on the rear. And then I kept ferreting around and I found a GP strap that would normally be on the musette bag, and I thought, oh brilliant, I've got a strap. But then I looked at the end of it and it's got no buckles, and I thought, what the hell? So put that aside for a minute, and it turns out that at some point this has had the rear D-rings torn off it, and what someone has done is they've got the GP strap, cut the ends off it, and they've used the ends of the GP straps to make replacement D-rings for the bottom of the musette bag. Now I don't know if that was something that was done when that was still being used years and years and years ago, you just never know. It probably isn't, it's probably just something that was done by previous owner. So it's just a little oddity and another thing to just make sure when you're looking at these stuff when you go and buy it, give them a proper once over, because although this looks at first glance as a really nice, just slightly grubby musette bag, it's actually had some pretty heavy damage on the bottom of it that's then been repaired. And that's not a problem for me. That doesn't affect how it works at all. It's a shame that they butchered the GP strap to do it, but these things happen. But internally, everything in here is how it should be. It's in really good nick. So I don't know what I'm going to do exactly with this one. This may either be ended up as a display piece on its own right. I'll do something with it, put some personal items in it, that sort of stuff, to have it in the tent or something like that maybe. Or this might also be added to a web gear, because I need a musette bag for my airborne weapon and I need a musette bag on my carbine vehicle weapon, because I don't want to have a sack on that one. But anyway, I was happy with the find, but once again, just beware when you're buying this stuff, have a proper look over it and see if there's any oddities like the repairs on here or the missing buckle on that haversack. Alright, so for the last item I'm going to have to stand up and get a bit further back because this is a bit large. Now, I don't know if any of you have seen these before. I bet certainly a lot of you haven't. So this was sticking out underneath a table on one of the stands outside at Military Odyssey, and I instantly recognised what it was because I've been looking for some of these for a long time. So what this is something known as a transport bag. If I bring it a bit closer to the camera, you can see it's got transport bag clearly at the top there, and that's pretty much the only markings on it. And so what you've basically got here is a big heavyweight canvas bag. That's much sturdier construction than normal bits of web gear that you'd find. There's no more markings inside it anywhere. It's just a giant sack basically. And on each side you've got one of these really heavy duty rope handles. You see there, one on each side. And basically what this is a generic canvas bag for lifting really heavy equipment. So you could put really heavy tools in here, like cans of 50 cal ammo, anything like that, or even like shells, stuff like that, that weigh probably too much for one person to be lugging about on his own, just to make it easier to transport. So you'd fill this all up with your really heavy equipment, then you'd have a soldier could hold one each side, so there'd be one holding this side and obviously then one holding that side. And it has a strap on the top of it that when you've got it all in, you can kind of twist it up like that and the strap will go round and do itself up. Now I've been trying to get hold of one of these for a while, because my friend Mark, who you saw in the last video, he's got a few of these and I wanted one for my display. I've got no idea what I'm going to do with it. I've got absolutely no idea what I'm going to put inside it. That might become a decent bag to hold my quilt in during the day when I'm covering it up so the public don't see my modern quilt, because I don't tend to sleep under a wool blanket because I do way too many events for that shit. But yeah, this was a really good find. That cost like basically nothing. I was really impressed. I'm not convinced the guy knew what it was because it was rare, but got to grab a bargain when you can, and everything's complete, nothing's missing. It might look like there's supposed to be a strap on both sides, but there isn't. It's just a bit of a weird design. So yes, this was like the prize find of Odyssey for me, and we've just got to find something to do with it. Hopefully get a few more of these in the future, because these look really nice piled up in the back of the trailer or anything like that. So yeah, a heavy, well, a transport bag or a heavy duty transport bag. Alright then, that's the end of this video. I just wanted to make a quick little video to show you the finds that I got at Military Odyssey. If any of you get a chance to go down there, that's a brilliant event and I really do recommend it. You get some really nice displays there. It's multi-period, you get modern stuff, World War II stuff, Civil War, all sorts of stuff goes on there. It's really worth checking it out if you're ever in the area at the time. Just type Military Odyssey into Google, that'll come straight back up. So yeah, I hope you like the finds. They're all going to be used. Probably start fiddling about with them this weekend or during the week if I get a chance to see where I'm going to put them. See if I can find somewhere in the Jeep for that haversack, because the Jeep's getting a bit full. But I think really my Jeep does need a haversack in it, because that's a fairly core piece of equipment. Also need to find out a way of trying to get the rust stains off it without wearing down the canvas so it looks weird, because normally when I try and wash canvas it just comes out looking worse than when you started. So if any of you have any ideas on that, please do pop me a message on there. Again, we're now on Facebook, so if you can pop onto Facebook and find me on Truffles Living History, that'll be the page I use to do little updates and photos and stuff when I'm at events, or have a little ideas, or doing random little hobby things where I'm not making a whole video or I haven't got time to make a whole video. So pop over there and we can get a little community started on Facebook as well. If you like the content, please do send me a like and a subscribe. Leave any questions or comments or suggestions in the section and I will make sure to get back to you. I always respond to the comments in the videos, so look forward to hearing from you soon and I will catch up with you before long.